Hi everyone, my name is Emily and I'm the Young Adult Librarian at the Rock Island Public Library. And today the book I'm going to tell you about is The Boy in the Striped Pajamas. So Holocaust Remembrance Day is this week, and I thought I would talk about this book because it used to be one that just every year at the junior highs they would talk about. And it's a really haunting book. It's a book I read a few years ago, and it's about two kids, and one is named Bruno. And Bruno lives with his family, and it's 1942. And he lives with his mom and his dad and his older sister. And at the start of the book, they live in Berlin. But Bruno's dad is in the army, and he has an important job and an important uniform, and he has been promoted, and so this means the whole family has to move to a place that Bruno calls Outwith. And Bruno doesn't know where Outwith is exactly. He just knows that it's far from where he used to live and it's far from his friends. But one day, even though Bruno has been told, hey, stay away from the fence, because there's a fence outside and there's all these people that Bruno can see in the distance, but he's been told, just leave this alone, don't investigate this. But Bruno wants to be an explorer, and he decides, well, I'm gonna walk along the fence until nobody from the house can see me and see what I can find. And eventually he gets to a point, at the fence where there's another kid who looks to be about his age sitting on the other side. And this is the title character. This is the boy in the striped pajamas. And the thing you need to know is Bruno is 9. Bruno is 9 years old, and so is the boy he meets. This other boy's name is Shmuel. And the weird thing about Bruno and Shmuel, it's a total coincidence, but they have the exact same birthday. And this is one of the first things they talk about. They're the same age and they were born on the same day. But of course, the fact that they're on different sides of this fence is very important. I mean, they have very different lives. And so in the book, you meet different people. At one point, a man named the Fury comes to dinner, and Bruno doesn't like this guy, and he can tell that his parents are really nervous about this dinner. But again, Bruno's a kid, and this whole book is from the point of view of a kid who is 9 at the time, and by the end he's a little bit older. But I mean, he still doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't know where he is or what's really happening. He's just been told, you're here for your dad's job. And, he has a tutor who comes to teach him and his sister. And that's about it. Bruno's only friend is Shmuel, this kid on the other side of the fence. And what happens at the end of the book, this doesn't really spoil anything, because again, this is a book that, it was made into a movie, so you've maybe seen that. But what happens is that Bruno and Shmuel are talking, and Bruno reveals that his family's going to be going back to Berlin. His dad has to stay for work, but he and his mom and his sister are going to be leaving. And Shmuel is very sad because Bruno has been bringing him food and, helping him in small ways, just being his friend, but also, giving him food. And again, Bruno doesn't understand what goes on the other side of the fence, but Shmuel does. And he's very worried about his dad, who he's not seen in a while. So Bruno says, well, hey, I'm going to be leaving soon. Is there a way that you can get me some clothes like yours? Because I could come with you. The fence has sort of a loose spot, he could slip under. Bruno's small enough. And what he's thinking is, okay, maybe I can help you find out what happened to your dad. And the reason this is even possible is what has happened recently is Bruno and his older sister, they both had lice. And, their mom's just horrified, and she complains, it's the place, of course this happened. But, his sister gets the lice shampoo, but Bruno's dad says, hey, your hair's pretty short, it'll grow back in a few weeks anyway, I'm just gonna shave your head. And Bruno is upset, but when he goes to see Shmuel the next time, he's like, well, we look the same now. And Shmuel's like, yeah, you're healthier, but yeah, we both have the shaved head. And this gives Bruno, a little bit later in the book, he and Shmuel agree that, oh yeah, if you were dressed the same, if we wore the same clothes, you know, nobody would look twice at either of us. So Bruno could like sneak into the place where Shmuel lives on the other side of the fence and help him find out what happened to his dad. So that's what happens in the book. And, you know, the book is about these two being friends and how it changes both of their lives, but how also, you know, their friendship ends up, like where it leads for both of them. So books like this, they give you more than just the names and the dates and the facts of what happened. I think historical fiction is really important because it kind of gives you a sense of what it was like to live in a certain time and place, and what it was like, you know, to live through a big historical event, you know, what that maybe felt like for the people involved. And this book in particular, it's not very long, but I mean, it grabs you and it doesn't let go, because again, you know what's happening. Like, you kind of understand where Bruno is and what is going on, and he does not. So even in the parts of the book where like he's scared or kind of uncertain, I mean, it's, as a reader, you know, like you feel these feelings too, because you have knowledge that Bruno does not. And his friendship with Shmuel, I mean, it's really important to him. You know, by the end of this book, Shmuel is his best friend. So of course he wants to help him, but you know, when he goes under the fence, slips under there, changes his clothes, I mean, this has consequences for his whole family, and you know, you can read the book to find out how it ends. But it is available on Access 360 and I think Libby as well. This is a book, I checked, and it's not on Hoopla, but you can read it in a couple different places, or obviously you can check it out from the library. But yeah. And thank you for watching. I will see you again soon.